This Illustrator tutorial explores various methods to combine vector objects to create new shapes. The first method we will use is compound paths. Compound paths let you use an object to cut a hole in another object. For example, you can create a donut shape from two nested circles. And that's how we'll start, by creating the rings that we see here. The second method we'll use is called Pathfinder effects. In the Pathfinder panel, you use interaction modes to combine objects into new shapes. We will apply that method by creating a large circle and a large star shape, selecting both those objects, and then dividing the overlapping areas into their own segmented objects. The third method is the Shape Builder tool. The Shape Builder is an interactive tool for creating complex shapes by merging and erasing simpler shapes. We will use the Shape Builder tool on these two rings to give off the illusion that they are linked. Open up Illustrator and then go to File, New. I'll change my unit of measurement to inches, and I'll make it 5 inches wide by 5 inches high. With one artboard, click the Create button, and we'll save the document. File, Save As. Navigate into your Adobe Design Suite folder, make a new folder titled Lab 15-AI-Combining Objects. Open up that folder. We'll save as type Adobe Illustrator.ai. I'll highlight Untitled -1, put in your last name, -15-AI-Combining Objects. .ai. Click the Save button, and then OK. In order for us to be able to see all of the tools that we're going to use in this video, I want to point out that I am on the Essentials workspace, and you can always reset Essentials to snap all your panels back in place. The first way that we're going to combine shapes is the most basic way, and it's called making a compound path. So we'll start off by going to our Ellipse Tool, L on your keyboard. I'll hold my Shift key down to get a perfect circle. And then I'll release my mouse. I'm going to take off the stroke color and replace it with a different fill color. I'll make another circle. I'm still on my ellipse tool, so I can start drawing it open. I'll hold my Shift key down, and I want this next one to be smaller than the first one, to be able to fit inside of it. Now they both have the same fill color, so I can change that. And I want to make sure that they're both aligned perfectly in the centers. I'll go back to my selection tool, and I'll select both circles. And now I see in my Properties tab, about halfway down, I have my Align panel. So the third icon in horizontal align center, and 3 more icons over from that is vertical align center. Okay, so if I take a look at my outline view, it all looks perfectly even and lined up. So let's save our document. Right now they're 2 separate circles. I'm on my selection tool. I want both circles selected, and I'm going to right click and tell it to make compound path. You can also get to that command by going up to the Object menu, down to Compound Path, Make. And now it should be more of a ring. So if I do a Command or Control Y, it still kind of looks the same. But if I were to, let's say, throw another image or object behind it, you'll be able to see that it's see-through. Hit my delete key, and we'll make sure we save our document. I'm on my selection tool, and I'll select my ring using the lower right hand corner. I'm going to, and my shift key, going to scale that down, and we're going to duplicate this item. You can copy and paste it. You can hold down Alt on a PC or Option on a Mac. Click and drag. I'll give the new ring a different color. So now I have 2 sets. I'll increase the size a little bit. So have the 2 circles overlapping in 2 areas like this. If I went to my outline view right now, you'll see that the intersections where the rings overlap, they have 4 sides. So what we're going to do is use our Shape Builder tool to merge and unite different areas of the rings to give it the illusion that they're linked. Okay, so I'll make sure that both of those objects are selected. Shift plus the M key brings you to your Shape Builder tool. Now if I just hover over the different areas of my objects, you'll see a gray grid appear. So it's differentiating the areas of the overlapping objects, and you can either subtract these areas or merge them together. So when we're done with this, these intersections should only have 2 sides to them. And I can do that by starting in this section here. I'll click, hold my mouse key down, and then I'll drag it along those 3 sections. And now you'll see my intersection only has the 2 edges. Now if I Control Y, okay, basically looks the same right now, but when we do the next one, we'll do the opposite way so that it looks like the rings are connected. So I would want to start here. I'm going to click, drag my mouse through those 3 sections, and then release. Go back to my preview, and it did unite the colors. So I might have to go to my direct selection tool. I can deselect everything, and then if I click this ring here, then I can go in and change the fill color. I'll go up to my selection tool, select both objects, and I'll make them a bit smaller. They're going to be inside of other objects. So I want those to basically stay there and not be moved. So in my layers panel, I can lock both of those path layers. Save your document. We'll go back to our ellipse tool, L on your keyboard, and I'll make a big circle. And I can change the fill color and send it backwards. Arrange, send to back. And then we're going to go up to our star tool. The star tool is in the same location as your ellipse tool. Just hold that tool down and then you'll see all the hidden tools underneath. And I'll make a big star that's going in the background. I have not released my mouse, and I can use my spacebar to reposition the star as I'm drawing. My shift key will keep it straight up and down. And if you're still holding on to your mouse, if you add your up arrows, you can add more arms to the star. Okay. So I can make sure it's all inside of my artboard. And I'll change the color of that star and go back to my selection tool. I'll send both of those objects to the back. And I have this large circle and the star selected right now. I'm going to make sure that those are aligned with their horizontal and vertical centers. And that looks good. If I go to my outline view, there's all my vectors. So my star, if I click on it, that's all one shape. And then the circle, that's one shape. What we'll do this time is use our Pathfinder panel to combine the star and the large circle. If we go up to the window menu, Pathfinder, here's my Pathfinder panel. You would need your objects selected first, so I made sure I have my circle. I can hold down Shift and select the star, or I can just drag my cursor just across those two objects. The Pathfinder panel allows us to combine objects in different ways. So if I hover over these shape modes, this first one, Unite. So if I go to my outline view, you can tell how that combined everything. I can undo that. The next one is Minus Front. Undo, intersect, exclude. On the bottom row of the Pathfinder panel, the first one, divide, which is the one that we want. And it really kind of doesn't look like it did anything. But if I go to my white arrow, the direct selection tool, I can start to select just the endpoints of the star. And I'll give those a different fill color. And these little pie pieces here also, are individually selectable. So going to select a few of those and change the fill color of those. And then the center part of the star is actually its own piece as well. So we did multiple kinds of combining of objects. We made a compound path with two overlapping circles, and then we duplicated that circle, used the shape builder tool to merge and unite the areas of the intersected rings. And then we drew a larger circle, a star, used our Pathfinder panel to divide all of those pieces of the overlapping and non-overlapping areas, and then we were able to individually format those. If you wanted to center those rings a little bit better, you can always unlock those layers, and you can readjust, you can scale, any kind of transform you want to do. Let's save our document. And we built this as an Adobe Illustrator.ai format. And that is a good format to use when we want to preserve all of our layers and our editing capabilities. Let's say we wanted to use this image for the web, and we wanted it to have transparent background to it, not just a solid white background. We could go up to the File menu and go to Export, Save for Web Legacy. This is one way we can do it. I like going about it this way. It does give me this nice preview. In the upper right hand corner, I can choose between GIF, JPEG, or PNG. We'll choose the PNG 8, and it shows you all of the colors that are available in that color table. And PNG files also do support one layer of transparency. So once I change that format, you'll see the gray and white grid appear around your object. So that is all blank, empty area there. I would want to make sure my transparency box is checked up at the top. That would also help ensure that that white area is taken out. We can go down here to image size, and we can scale the percentage down 50%. And we're ready to hit the Save button. Navigate back into folder Lab 15-AI-Combining Objects, and we'll keep the name of the document the same. Now it has a .png file extension added. Click Save. Close your document in Illustrator. Then open up a Finder window on your desktop. Navigate into folder Lab 15 AI Combining Objects, and you should have two files inside that folder, the AI file and the PNG. I'll select them both and compress, zip those two files together. I can keep the name the same, The .zip file is what you'll submit to Canvas. To recap, we made compound paths, starting with the Ellipse Tool, creating 2 circles, and then making a compound path, so it became a donut cutout between the circles. We duplicated that, then used the Shape Builder tool to give off the illusion of linked rings, and we merged those areas together. Then we drew another circle and a star and used the Pathfinder Panel to divide the overlapping segments into each of their own components, and then recolored each one of those areas. Thank you for watching.